Oh my goodness, did you see that cue? Oh, it's Ed Skating PJ here with Skate Ontario's second or third Facebook Live. But anyway, it doesn't matter. Second Synchro Facebook Live with Jessica Brown. Hashtag Synchro Insider, don't you know? Jessica, thank you for coming and talking to me.
Thank you for having me today.
Guess what? We are almost ready for Winterfest. That starts tomorrow. And I can't even believe Jessica is here. Do you know that she works with Gold Ice in Brampton, and she works on 6 teams, and she told me she's skating this weekend. Are you insane? And you're taking the time off to come here.
Anything for the sport of synchro. We're really trying to pump the event and get as many people in the stands and as excited as we all are to have everyone there.
So it's going to be in Brampton at the, is it Powerade Center still?
Formerly, now it's CAA Center.
Oh yeah, I know. Everybody keeps changing the name of their centers, but you guys know where it is, so just look it up, in Brampton. And what can we expect? How many teams are coming to Winterfest?
There is 105 teams in attendance this
That's
year.
amazing.
Yep, record numbers, and we have over 1,000 athletes competing. And we're seeing like numbers in the intermediate category of 17 teams. Yeah.
I am looking forward to coming and watching that, is
Yeah.
for sure. And the other thing that's really kind of cool about Winterfest is that there's going to be live streaming from the event. So make sure that you check out skateontario.org to get all the details. We're also going to post it on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, as well as our brand new, have you seen it yet? Our Skate Ontario page, have you?
I haven't yet, but I will go as soon as we're done this.
Wonderful. On Skate Ontario, that's where you're going to find all of the extra kinds of content that you won't see anywhere else. So, for instance, we've got a video up right now of Elizabeth Manley. This Facebook Live is going to end up on our Skate Ontario page, as well as a Facebook Live that I'm going to be doing with John Briscoe from the event on Saturday afternoon at 4:25 p.m. Eastern Time. We're looking forward for all of your comments, all of your questions. Same as what we're looking forward to now is all the comments and questions. So, in Gold Ice Land, see what I did there? Gold Ice Land. Tell me what you guys have been working on. How did you stay motivated over the holidays?
I think for most teams heading into following their first event, which has been just under a month, I would say, there's been a lot of training. So I think for a lot of teams, everybody's in the same boat. They've had the last couple of weeks to really ramp up their training, prepare, revisit their programs, add some depth to them. So I think that kind of adds excitement for the skaters to go out there and perform. Not necessarily a new program, but stuff with more character, more flourishes to the music and choreography. So I think that you'll see a lot of the teams competing in the high performance categories have been training really hard just to make those improvements and prepare for this event.
So do teams take advantage of the time off of school for kids to maybe do some extra training during the holidays?
Yeah, I think that in the past you would only see potentially junior and senior teams and sometimes novice teams, but now you're seeing it at all levels that since the skaters are off and the parents have flexibility, their skating schools are running camps where they can train and keep the kids on the ice, because we see a lot of progression over this time, and then it helps kind of lead into the competitive season. So yeah.
Don't forget, you can leave us questions, you can leave us comments on the comment bar that's just below this Facebook Live, and this will also be archived for you guys to be able to take a look at again. So let's talk a little bit about some of the holiday fun. What did the Gold Ice skaters get up to?
So we did have a training camp that started just before Christmas. Again, we had themed, obviously, practices to keep everyone motivated.
Like what?
We had Christmas practice, we had a New Year's practice, and it's really intense training. So sometimes it's nice to kind of de-stress for the athletes and let them kind of take a breath for a moment, because it is very intense. And then again, leading into this week, there's a lot of training, and then they'll kind of taper back just so that they're prepared and well rested for the big event.
Now, some people who won't know the sport of synchronized skating, is there a difference in what you have to do as a coach in terms of training athletes at the different levels?
I feel like yes. I think that your intensity is different for each category at different points in the year. I would say Winterfest is formally known as kind of as a marquee event because it draws in teams from all across the country. This year we're seeing teams from the States coming, so it kind of exposes the athletes to teams that they'll be seeing if they're the high performance teams at nationals, and then it's preparing our grassroots teams for regionals, and this year the exciting provincial championships that will be happening. So every team, they have their time, but I think Winterfest, there's a big push for all categories.
And it's particularly important for the junior teams, is it not? Can you tell me why?
Yep, so the Winterfest event is the junior qualifier. So this year we have 7 teams in it. We have 2 American teams coming, and the junior qualifier will determine, based on the placements of 1 and 2, for the World Championships, for the Junior World Championship. So a lot of push and a lot of drive for those junior teams, so they have to peak really quick, and then again for nationals, and if teams going on to internationals for that. So there's a lot of excitement in this competition surrounded by that, by all the categories, especially because there's a lot of spectators that get to come and watch and see it unfold.
And if you haven't come to watch a synchronized skating competition, you really should, because the fans are second to none. Bring your earplugs, not for the music part, but for the craziness that goes on in the stands. It is so much fun. So I want to talk a little bit more about that junior qualifier. It used to be years ago that the junior teams would qualify at the national championships for the following year. So now it is, the qualifications happen at Winterfest for the World Championships that happen in about 2 months' time.
Yeah, I think that they switched to this just
Makes
to
more
get,
sense.
Totally, to give a little bit more preparation. I think there was actually 1 year where I was still skating where you were finding out who qualified and leaving 2 weeks later.
Yes.
So it's a lot of stress financially on the parents and the people invested, as well as on the coaches, and preparing kind of a yearly plan for everyone. So I think that right now this model that we have in place works a little bit better, that they would qualify earlier in the season.
So I think we have a comment or a question from our trusty producer. You're just going to tell us?
What category are you most excited to watch this year?
Ooh. I'm kind of excited to watch all of them, to tell you the truth. It's been a while since I've been able to be at a synchronized skating event that's live, but I'm particularly interested in the juniors because of that qualification aspect. What about you? And who's that from?
Gold Ice.
Oh.
Hey, Gold Ice.
Hello.
Holla.
I think at this particular event, junior is definitely a highlight and something really exciting to see. There's a big energy around that event. And then at nationals, I think senior is really important because they too are determining their world team. Their championships happens a little bit later, so their training season's a bit different. But by all these numbers, like the novice category has grown, there's a lot of excitement. So I think that with some new elements and some new rules and some new technical things, I think that a lot of the categories are exciting, and there's a lot of new tricks and technical requirements that make the programs a little more interesting this year. So,
Can you tell me a little bit about the evolution of the sport from the time you were a skater to now you as a coach?
a lot. I always say that. It's incredible. There's been great mentors, but the skating from now to then has really increased. I mean, if you look at the things that they're trying in junior with the lifts and the highlighting and the tricks, there's some really interesting creative elements this year, and you see a lot of junior and senior teams really pushing the limits with what they're doing in it. So they're doing a basic element, but adding a lift to it, and at high speed and a lot of intricacy, and I think it makes the sport exciting. And I think that's what they're always trying to do, push it while still keeping some of the foundation, where the turns and the technical twizzles are above, like when I skated, not present. And I mean, we had those skills, but now they're really pushing it. And I think they're trying to mimic some things in ice dance, which is exciting too.
When you think about it, ice dancers are kind of the masters of the blades, and that's what I'm thinking about with synchro, is that they're paying great attention to detail, certainly where the cleanness of turns is concerned, and teaching that excellent rock solid technique. So from that standpoint, it's really interesting. People maybe don't realize just how high risk synchronized skating is. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I think as you progress from the grassroots up, you are, in synchro, like any of the disciplines, you are learning basic skills, and then they become faster and harder and more complexity with arm movements or footwork. And I think now with the lifts and the intricacy that they're asking, and then I said in some of those more creative elements, there's a lot of risk because there's not just one set of blades, there's 16 sets of blades. So yeah, I think that you're seeing an increase of speed and excitement, and I think that's the direction they really want the sport to go in. So
one of the things that I really love about synchronized skating is that it takes skaters from here all the way up to through adults. What is the attraction for the sport, do you think?
I think that the team environment, I think that the ability for a skater to stay in the sport for so long, I think the sense of community that the synchro community does have, it is incredible. You know, the friendships that are built, but I think that a skater can stay in the sport from the grassroots up and always find a place. There's so many categories, there's so many clubs. Within Ontario, our sport is growing at a very rapid rate, and I think that the skaters, once they're done their competitive career, I think that there's 3 adult categories, which I know you guys talked about last time. So it's an excellent opportunity for people to stay involved. And invested.
And when we think about it, this is the fastest growing discipline of the ISU ice sports. It is the newest category in terms of the World Figure Skating Championships. It's got its own World Championships and has since the year 2000. In Canada, if you're an adult skater that you're just like a recreational skater or a pleasure skater, are you able to get up to speed on a synchro team, or is it beyond your grasp?
If you have the basic skills of skating forwards and backwards and 3 turns in mohawks, the beauty of the adult and the active for life category is that there's three areas. So we have an adult 1, 2, and 3, and I think somewhere in between those 3, there is a place for definitely with somebody with a skating sense could participate in. And our club has an adult 3 team, and
this is Brampton.
Yep, and they are definitely active for life, and they kind of embrace that adult skater, and it's about being social and getting out and staying fit and pushing out of their comfort zone, because again, as an adult, you're putting yourself out there to compete, and I think it's great, and I think that's kind of the beauty of the sport, that there's a place for everybody.
And you know, when we talk about a place for everybody, what I want people to do when they come to Brampton on the weekend, so the competition runs Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, come to Brampton, come to the CAA Center, and you will see all of the teams sitting in blocks according to basically their groups and their teams. So that part I think is just so much fun. I would have so enjoyed synchronized skating as a skater, because it would have given me a purpose to my skating beyond finishing tests, beyond trying to find a dance partner. It would have given me something to do. So I wholly support this idea, and in this day and age when people are looking for team activities, this is a perfect solution to so many things. And it's Canada, and it's winter, so we can embrace the cold.
Totally.
So what kind of recommendations would you have for spectators coming to Winterfest on the weekend?
If you are cheering for a specific team, or if you are coming to watch and support a specific team, if they have colors or if they have a theme, you often see that in the stands. Find out what section, cheering section your team's sitting in, or who you're cheering for, and you'll see that it's definitely a very lively atmosphere, which I think helps comfort the skaters as they enter the ice, knowing that they have, if it's their parents or their grandparents or family members or friends watching them, I think in a pressure situation, it comforts them knowing that there's someone in the stands watching them. And be prepared. The flash mob is online. So
Ooh.
yes, there is a new flash mob this year, and it's going to be in between floods. So I believe it's between following novice, in between the junior event starting.
This is One Team Movement doing that, right?
One Team Movement is doing the flash mob. It is new this year. Yep, and they are big. One Team Movement really is embracing the sport of synchronized skating and trying to get exposure out there. So YouTube, the flash mob, that will definitely bring a lot of excitement and energy into the stands.
And again, you're going to be able to, if you're at home and not able to come to Brampton, make sure you check out our live stream because you're going to be able to follow along with all of the competition going on. And if you're in the stands, you're going to be able to watch part of it that's going on the jumbo board, whatever we call that in the middle of the rink. Do we have any more comments yet? What? Any hellos from anybody? Okay, we want to hear about the hellos because it's all about the hellos.
Gold Eyes Novice parents are watching.
Ooh, hello, Gold Eyes Novice parents.
Gold Eyes Juvenile parents.
Oh.
Good for you, juvenile parents.
Gold Eyes Pre-Novice.
Gold Eyes pre-novice, no parents. No
Skaters.
Skaters, way to go.
Yeah.
I want to know from the Gold Ice community that's watching, what is your favorite thing that you're looking forward to at Winterfest? That's kind of something that we can talk about. And what's your favorite thing about synchronized skating? But I'm going to start that with Jessica. What's your favorite thing about synchronized skating?
I think my favorite part of synchronized skating, again, is the team atmosphere and the community, and I think that you were able to establish and make friendships and find your place within it through all aspects of your skating career, which I think that often skaters, when they're skating individually, have to stop at some point. So I think that that's a big thing, and I think that like any sport, but in synchronized skating, it teaches you a lot of life lessons that prepare skaters for when they're going out and they're finished school or they're in school or in a job. And I think that's so important. I think that's parents value that, and I think that in any team sport, you learn a lot of those skills.
Excuse me. So top 3 life lessons.
Organization.
That's a good one.
I think learning to work with others and respecting others' opinions, and again, understanding how to work well with all different types of personalities, and staying active. I think, active for life. I think that's important. I think it creates great fitness and
And for the audience out there, I want you to send in your favorite or your top 3 life lessons synchronized skating has taught you or is teaching you. I've got another one for you, and that is the lesson of being able to be gracious in victory and defeat. So as a skater, I want you to talk me through the most difficult performance that you had, and then as a coach, I want to hear the same thing and how you coped.
Right on the spot. I think in a team sport, in any circumstance, if there's an error with a fall or something technical, it doesn't need to even sometimes be so visual. In an individual sport, you have yourself that you take accountability and responsibility. I think in a team, if some of the errors have revolved around you, it's often difficult. You feel like it's your fault. You feel like you've let others down. So as a skater, I think that has always been a challenge. So if someone feels that they've made a visual error or a mistake and they've let their teammates down, but I also think that you have the support of your teammates, and those are life lessons where you succeed as a team and you fail as a team, and always again working together as a team always trumps everything, I feel.
So as a coach, you've got a team on the ice and they happen to blow a tire. What happens when they come off the ice? Do you give them time to regroup? Do you address it immediately? How do you
I think that you try to ensure that no one is injured.
Yes.
So oftentimes there could be that, and I think that you kind of say that there's a time and a place, and you guys need to support each other, and you hold your head up in the stands, and you kind of discuss it at a later date. If it's following, your first skate into your second skate, you have to get them motivated and regrouped for that second skate. But again, no one, I don't think, ever goes out with the intention to make an error.
No,
there's
of course
always there's always underlying causes, whether it's nerves or circumstances,
or a rut.
Totally
Lots of
ice
ruts and
conditions
skating.
or ruts or for sure, or costume issues, but it's just kind of staying together as a team, working through it, and then remaining positive as you move into the stands, and holding your head up, and then learning how to move forward, even if it's the next performance or the next skate.
What people maybe don't realize, unless they've been to a synchronized skating competition, is that the whole thing works like a magical piece of choreography, from when the skaters get off the bus to the off-ice warm-up, to the dressing room, to the ice, do you go back to the dressing room?
Yes.
And then what happens?
Most of the times to the stands and then back to
the
whatever
bus
next
and-
bus or hotel or you end up leaving. But yes, it's really like you said, it's down to washroom breaks and
Military
when you can
precision.
eat. Totally. And I think it's because you're as a coach and there's obviously support members with managers and parents that are helping and volunteering. It's just to keep everyone organized. It's often, if you're one-on-one with an athlete, it's a little bit easier, but once you start to involve a team, you have to manage 16 or 20 or 24 because the adult teams can carry more. There's a lot more athletes you have to manage. So I think an itinerary and a plan kind of just helps everything work and keep everyone in line.
And hats off to all the volunteers, because without the parents who are volunteering, none of this could happen.
Incredible.
So let's talk a little bit about the volunteers in your organization.
Amazing. So this weekend, Gold Ice is hosting, co-hosting with Skate Ontario, and it really takes months of organization and preparation to get the event to where it needs to be, to run, to feed the volunteers, to feed the officials, and the dressing rooms, music check-in. There are so many key points. We have a couple of leads that take on this event within our organization that are incredible, and we couldn't do it without them. So shout out to all of our volunteers.
Yeah, no kidding.
And again, they help. I was speaking with you earlier. They really help make events meaningful and purposeful for the athletes. And I know that Skate Ontario is really, really big on making events have a purpose for their athletes and all the stakeholders involved. So volunteers, you guys we
You
couldn't
guys
do
rock.
it without you. Totally.
You
And
are
I think that's something to the skating community that's like none other. Yeah.
I think you're right. Any comments or questions or hellos? It's our trusty producer who's behind the screen.
Lots of thumbs up.
Great.
Good luck tomorrow, Gold Ice
Excellent.
teams.
Nice.
Gold Ice Adult 3 team, they know how to make they know how to make fun at competitions.
Oh,
You know what? I bet the adult teams do. I'm almost thinking about putting my skates back on, but only almost. Okay. How much fun would I have? A lot.
Sophie Clark says hi.
Oh, awesome.
Hey, Sophie.
Yeah.
So, I guess what we're trying to say here is that synchronized skating is a wonderful way for skaters of all ages to participate.
Right, from intro levels, far grassroots to active to life. This competition sees a little bit more, not so at the lower end grassroots, which is our skate to standard right now. The event started the juvenile category here, which is still young.
Yeah.
Which
They're
is
so
great.
cute.
Oh my, they're adorable. But yes, they can start incredibly young now, which is different. I think before in my generation, you were starting a little bit older.
Yes.
Now there's categories kind of that fit all the age groups.
Do you feel that skaters' ability in synchro are enhanced by their exposure to other areas? So single skating, for instance, or ice
I
dance?
think that it's definitely. I think that strong basics that you learn from your individual coaches, and whether it comes from a dance background or a singles background, are so important when you jump into synchronized skating. And then furthermore, they'll enhance skaters' ability to potentially perform. I've often heard skaters become more comfortable with performing when they go back to their individual skating after joining synchro. So I think they both work hand in hand. I don't think one ever hurts the other. For sure, I think that both can work together.
Tell me about your philosophy as a coach. What are the things that you want to have present, or what are the things that you want to bring to the skaters?
I think a sense, obviously, of developing their skating skills, but beyond that, a sense of love for the sport, the ability to give back to the sport in any capacity, whether it be in coaching, volunteering, judging, a passion. And I think that's what so many people in the skating community bring, whether it's in a coaching role or in a volunteer role or in a skater role, is that passion. And if they can take that passion and continue it in skating, that makes for the community to grow. But if they can take their passion into skating and put it into other things, unstoppable. We are creating unstoppable human beings.
The world needs more unstoppable human
Totally.
beings, that is for sure.
Yes.
So one last comment. If this is somebody's first competition as a skater and they're coming to Winterfest, what should they expect? What should they prepare for? What are you telling your skaters to be ready for?
We are telling our skaters, that's a great question, to trust in their training, trust in the process. They've gone into these camps, which a lot of clubs have done now. Trust your training, listen to your coaches.
Listen to your coaches.
Yeah, enjoy yourselves, have fun. And if this is their first experience, really enjoy it. It's a big facility. We're used to being in Winterfest, which is formerly, or Hershey, which is formerly Paramount. Powerade, which is now CAA, is the same
It's very complicated.
facility. Very complicated. It is a similar facility in size, so
Yeah.
it's big. So perform, enjoy yourselves, have fun. And again, there will be lots of excitement in the building, so build off that energy.
Are there 2 lessons that people can take away if this is their first experience?
Enjoy.
Okay,
So
good
enjoy
one.
the moment. And again, like trust the process, trust your training, and enjoy, have fun.
Do you know what, Jessica Brown? You have been a treat. Thank you for
thank
taking the time away from those 6 teams to come in and talk to us on Facebook
No
Live.
problem, anytime.
All right, everybody. We will see you at Winterfest this weekend. Watch our live stream. Go to any of our social media platforms on Skate Ontario. Go to skateontario.org. It'll be on the homepage. It'll also be on Skate Ontario as far as where the links are. This will be archived also on Skate Ontario. We hope you check it out, and because it's a page by all of us devoted to you. Is there one last question before we go? Look at this.
How different is it going to be now watching the open category rather than being in the thick of it all?
Oh.
Good question.
So
to
yes,
end on.
the suspense. Gold Ice formerly had a open team that competed for 9 years and was incredibly successful. So I'm excited. I haven't seen any of the open teams this year, so I'm excited to be able to catch some of that. I will be at the rink there on Sunday this year, which they haven't been, so I will be able to watch and be in the excitement and be a little less stressed. So it's always stressful. The open category is still very competitive. It's
Very
often
competitive.
it's often a category that skaters that have competed either intermediate or junior or senior kind of go before potentially heading into the adult categories. So it's always exciting. And there's some great skating. It's a great event. So I'm looking forward to watching it.
Okay, everybody, as I said, we will see you at Winterfest on the weekend in Brampton. Check out our live stream. Thank you again, Jessica Brown,
No
for joining
problem.
us. And we'll see you later, everybody. Bye for now.